Here is the story of how I personally was able to bring myself to Dubai by the age of 20, completely financially free with my business based in this specific country with zero taxes. So how did I do that exactly? And what led me to that decision specifically? Now, the story that led me to get to this specific decision. So last year, I was hanging around with the Tates as well as some high caliber people. And of course, I was there for specific networking events, talking to them about some things that I've been doing, of course, growing my social profile. And every single time that I looked out into the desert, into the marina, just my experience of the UAE has been only but positive. After contrasting my experience in Canada versus my experience in the UAE, you have better lifestyle, a better standard of living, even better place to work and network, as well as the best safety levels on planet Earth, and the easiest place to actually make money and build wealth. My biggest problem with Canada was, firstly, you were paying 50% tax. You were paying that tax for a country that was not safe, where it was hard to actually build wealth, and where the weather was garbage half of the time. So it didn't even make any sense for me to stay there. So at 19 years old, I was like, man, I'm done with this. So after I met with some of these guys and spoke to a lot of people within my networks, I decided to start my application to start my business in Dubai, based all of my resources and assets in the UAE. And once I got myself to the UAE, done, easy peasy. Now everything is based here. That was about a 3-month process. So I made that decision back in October to actually move here. And now I curated this into my reality. And now it is the month of May and I have everything that I need based here. Driver's license, house, residency, health, insurance, all that stuff, all based here. And it's 10 times better than any other country that I was living in. So let me elaborate into the idea of how I was able to manage specifically, right? Because saying that I moved to Dubai at the age of 20, literally by myself, is something big for anyone personally. So I can give you a bit of a life story. So I started very, very young working as a hustler and understood at the beginning that a man needs to build himself. A man needs to build his own value, right? And no one's going to help you make these kind of moves. It's only going to be me personally that will bring me to these countries, that will bring the success that I want. So I understood that I am a reflection of my own success. Very, very young, I started working, hustling. I actually started working as a referee when I was 10 years old, as well as delivering newspapers. So I was that little kid delivering newspapers every single weekend, made a few $100s per month. But that was the start of the whole entrepreneurial journey. And then from there, went through high school, was working very, very hard. Through that whole entire journey, I decided to become a lifeguard, worked 7 hours, 7 days a week, nonstop. Once I was 16, I had about 4 jobs, working consecutively all the time, every single day, nonstop, because I understood that the only thing that will bring me out of Canada and will lead me to my ideal lifestyle was myself and was my work ethic. By the time I was 16, 17, 18, I had 2 landscaping on-call jobs, I had 1 security job, and I also had a lifeguarding job. Whenever I was not working, that meant that I was failing. So I was always working nonstop. So that's kind of how I got started off. That work ethic was built within after watching so much self-improvement and all these videos online saying, as a man, you need to build yourself. I decided to take action. A lot of people don't take action, right? And I actually took action, and guess where I landed myself? Taking action brings actual results. If you actually take action, you will see the benefits of that leadership. So after the experience of moving to Dubai, now I'm working harder than ever, and my businesses are thriving more than ever. But how was I able to start off and get my own business? I actually got my own business, and I actually believe this very, very profoundly. The biggest opportunities in life and on earth are found through business connection and are found through actual networks. So when I was about 18 years old, I started going to more and more networking events. And through those networking events, that led me to make specific connections. And those connections would be guys that were employers that had their own businesses in Canada, were pretty sophisticated and they knew what they were doing. And I was actually going to university at that time. Once I got myself my first job, full 9-to-5 job, through my connections, through my business networks, I decided to drop out of university with that 9-to-5 job. I got my first huge opportunity, and that was my 9-to-5 job as a manager of a huge e-commerce business. They were making about $5 million. Within 6 6 months of me being in that business and actually making salary, I brought that business from $5 million to $10 million. But I knew and understood that my environment absolutely reflected who I would become, right? So everyone at that 9-to-5 job, they were all slaves, man. They were all low motivated slaves that were just there to get their job done. So I understood that I needed to make the next step. I always use this theory. Every single time you reach the top of a mountain, you need to look for new and new mountains to conquer. You cannot allow yourself to reach the top of a mountain, meaning this manager opportunity, I got to the top of that mountain, brought all the success, and stay at the top. You cannot stay at the top. You need to look for that new opportunity. So go back down that mountain and find a new opportunity to conquer. So that's what I did. I ended up joining a lot of private networks, networked myself into new specific opportunities, and from that, I decided to actually join the war room. And from there, that's where my life actually literally propelled into outer space. From there, I got a lot of different opportunities, was able to get myself very, very close to a lot of high-level people, and through those connections, I was able to build my own businesses, copywriting, e-commerce, all these different specific side hustles. I did have some specific involvements. And when I made that change, when I actually left my 9-to-5 job, and this is me, I'm 19 years old, man, and I'm taking all these risks, right? I had some balls back then, man. I'm still 21, of course, but these are the risks that you need to take if you want to move so quickly. I decide, this is the reason why I moved so quickly and why I got myself to Dubai so quickly at the age of 21, is because I look at life as a battle. And every single new mountain that I climb to the very top, I look for the next one right away. I do not stop. Once I look that and say, okay, cool, I've conquered this mountain, meaning I conquered this obstacle, this new life quest. I've finished that quest. I'm going to look for another mountain so I can conquer that one as soon as possible. I move quick with this. That's what a lot of people lack. Speed is absolutely key. Once I made that happen, I got myself into highly, highly good opportunities that led me to eventually make very, very good money, have literal people working for me. At the moment, I have about 25 staff working for me full time, and life is doing well. And I'll say, what are some tips for people that are young as well as my age? They want to make that change. Firstly, you need to focus on your finances, because if you don't have finances, you can't make moves like I'm doing at the moment. So you need to take those changes, take those risks so that you can get yourself to the level. So firstly, what are the big risks that I have taken? I left university. I got into a 9-to-5 job. I quit that 9-to-5 job. I decided to get into new specific opportunities. I sold my copywriting agency to focus on different businesses. What led me to take those risks? My networking skills led me to take those risks because I understood that there was a new mountain to conquer. Once I did that specific and finished that task, that quest, I decided to go to the next thing. And if you can make those changes very quickly, then you're able to firstly make money within those changes, right? So very, very important, guys. I'm hoping you guys learned a lot from this video and now understand how I was able to bring myself from 0 to 100. Now, from a Canadian guy that lived in the worst areas of Toronto, now living in the best areas of Dubai, how I was able to make that happen. And ultimately, the answer is networking. The answer is networking. So what you can do as some first key tips is to actually get out there, go to your first few networking events, join a few online networks, and through that, understand what networking actually brings to your life, because it brings a lot, man. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Very excited to firstly meet a lot of you guys in Dubai, and also make sure to subscribe to this YouTube because I'm very, very excited for all the new content that I'm going to be putting out in this specific YouTube channel, as well sub to my Telegram channel.